this is going to be great.
Welcome to the White House Pod with David A.R.
I'm gonna finish what I started.
It's not easy. It's simple. Is this on?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't sound like it to me. It's like there's no. I have to make up my own. Well, Tony's saying it's on. So okay, Tony. I guess Dylan, hit yours. Does it? Nothing, right?
It would be a big no.
Is anybody hearing this though? Can anybody hear this outside? Please comment on YouTube at David A.R. White right now and tell me if you can hear. You do it. Let me hear yours. Matt, can I hear yours? Oh, Matt's got earbuds.
He's gonna
look at Matt. My gosh, Matt Eason, ladies and gentlemen, it's Matt Eason. Matt Eason, you look like you are a recording artist over there with your it looks like you're like in a recording studio. Is this correct?
I'm in a podcast studio. It's in the building where I rent a desk.
All right, so that's the place. So when I talk to you on the phone, this is where you're at. You're in that cubicle. You moved. You used to be my neighbor. A little bit about Matt. Let me just tell you this real quick. Matt and I met because his daughter's name is Eve. My little daughter's name, we call her Evie. And Evie and Eve were like besties, and they would hang out all the time. And so she was over at my house one day, and then I was like, oh, gosh, I guess I'm going to go say hello to Eve's parents, because apparently as parents, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to be nice. And not always just, shuffle the kids. I don't know whether my daughter had been at your house at that point yet, though. Has she?
I don't remember.
Eve was putting her shoes on or trying to find her shoes or lost her swimsuit in the pool or something, and so they were taking a bit of time, and I felt bad for the parent of this child. So I go out there, I walk down my driveway, and there is like this classic car guy named Matt. And I said, hello. And then Matt is so nice that he goes, what are you working on? I said, oh, I'm working on these action, trying to do my first straight up action movie. And I'm trying to figure out the space and because obviously Pure Flix, was sold to Sony and then we were running that and then now we weren't running it. And so I had a new venture, like trying to piece this together. And I'm a big believer that God brings people into your lives at a specific time, because I'm just at the end of my driveway with this, very cool classic car guy. And then he tells me that he's a writer for action thriller movies. And I was like, come on, what? Who were you writing for at the time? Premiere?
Yes, it was Premiere. Yeah, I was doing some action thriller rewrites for some Premiere projects. Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that you understood, and I was like, well, this is the way the formula has to go to make these things work in the marketplace. That's a whole other topic that we can get into about how in the world you sell a movie and make a movie. But the other thing is that Matt is a writer and he's a dad, apparently. He's also a husband. But on top of that, the guy's you've produced how many TV shows?
I'm the co-executive producer of House Hunters, and there have been times
I'm sorry, hold on a second. You just House Hunters.
House Hunters, for HGTV.
And then what do we do with House Hunters? Wait a second. Dylan, have you ever watched House Hunters?
I have.
Okay, so what is it House Hunters?
So we're
putting people on the spot today.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's basically they find these homes and then they go back and they fix them up. Correct?
No.
I'm wrong.
Hold on, wait. Okay, so Tony, what's your answer to House Hunters on HGTV? You look like an HGTV watcher.
I have seen House Hunters. Yes.
Okay,
so what is it about?
It's about buying houses.
Yay. That's
Well, buying houses, I would think house hunters would be like, here's a cool house. It's in Ohio, and we're gonna go do it. But then they'd have to renovate it. Dylan, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to throw you under the bus there for the joke of the thing.
No, it's good.
Don't feel okay. You're okay.
I'm gonna cry later.
Okay, just making sure, because I most likely wouldn't know this either, but I've been friends with Matt now for many years, so I should know this.
It's a real estate show. It's every episode is a new family or a new buyer, and they're telling the story of their home purchase. So they look at a few homes, and at the end, you have to kind of guess which one they bought. We reveal which one they purchased. Sometimes there's a renovation element if they've done work to the place. Oftentimes they're still moving in. So, but it's a real estate show. It's cool because every episode is a different family in a different city all around the U.S. So you kind of get a sampling of, what are homes like in Ohio or Hawaii or Denver. So it's fun.
You've been on this for how many years?
15 years.
Wow. 15 years.
We've delivered probably on average 5 episodes a week. So, wow. I didn't write all those, but I've worked on them in some capacity. There were times we delivered 9 a week and times where we delivered 3, but it's always in that number.
Are they 30-minute episodes? How much?
Yeah.
By the way, if you guys are not on YouTube, okay, Dylan, why don't you get the plug on this one? What could they be seeing right now if they were on YouTube?
You might be seeing a little bit of house hunters on this.
Yes, you would. You will be seeing house hunters on this. Oh. You should go to YouTube and also tell me, if you please actually comment. Have you seen House Hunters? And if so, what is your favorite episode? And what is your question for Matt? Matt, you have seen. If you've done this many episodes over that many years, is there any town in America that you don't know what the real estate is like there?
I'm sure there are some small Midwestern cities that we've kind of, we haven't quite explored yet.
Have you explored Dodge City, Kansas, where I'm from? Outside of Dodge, by the way.
We've done Olathe, which is really Kansas City, right?
Yeah.
We have not done a lot of Kansas.
Out of the 750 episodes, I'm like, he's supposed to remember whether he was in Dodge City or not.
I don't remember one in Dodge City, no, but that sounds interesting.
You actually should do that one. There it is. Dylan and I have just come up with Dodge City is where you should actually do it, because Dodge City, of course, is the home of, as a writer,
Tombstone.
every Tombstone, every cowboy movie ever, Wyatt Earp.
Yeah.
Huckleberry. Miss Kitty, Huckleberry. You gonna be my Huckleberry?
I'll be a Huckleberry.
I'll be your Huckleberry. These lines are so. Right now, you're seeing Val Kilmer. Comment right now. Back to the podcast here. So wait a second. How did you get into this? What did you always have a dream of either being working for HGTV or finding houses all over the country?
Well, I started at the production company as a PA, and way back when.
Where are you from originally?
I grew up in San Diego County, basically, and moved to LA in like the late 90s.
To be a writer or to be a producer, to be work for HGTV? Like, what was the? Yeah,
writer actor actually originally, way back when.
I believe that. You look like you could be an actor.
Yeah,
you got a great look.
Oh, thanks. But it failed miserably. So it's down in flames. You know what? Then I got married and I kind of lost interest in that. And I was like, you know what? I
thought you were just going to say, then I got married and lost my dream. Hey, these marriage jokes are just jokes, okay? They're only jokes. We in no way endorse these.
That's
jokes.
Right. We're pro-marriage all the way.
True, indeed.
And so I started looking at other careers, and I started off. This is actually a pretty cool story. I just started applying for production jobs because I'd always been a writer and I wanted to get into kind of more behind the scenes, and didn't really know where I wanted to begin. And so I got a job as a PA, and at this production company that happened to be doing a lot of HGTV and Food Network and cable type content, lifestyle programming, and right around that time, my wife got pregnant with our first kid, and she prayed and she said, God, please give him some promotions before the baby's born because he's a PA. And she said, please give him 3 promotions. I didn't even know she did this. And I'm thinking,
Wait, did you say
really
give him 3? Like it was like a 3 genie prayer type of thing? Like,
yeah, it was kind of one of those kind of things. Yeah, like a fleece kind of a thing. I ended up with 4, and by the time the baby was born, I was a staff writer on one of their design renovation shows. I wrote a little pitch, and they were like, "Hey, you're good at this."
Oh, wait.
So,
you said 3.
Yeah, she prayed that I would get 3 promotions,
and then
before the baby was born, and we got 4 within the company, 4 promotions from production assistant up the ladder.
Oh, I thought then it was like you were talking about kids. I was confused of because you have how many kids you have?
We actually have 4 kids, so
That's
it
what
kind of
I'm
makes
saying.
sense. That works. That works.
All right, go ahead.
In that world, the writers kind of, when you're churning out that much, the writers kind of end up managing, and so I just kind of fell into it. Was
the promotions though upwards to executive producers, right? Because in TV, and I know in TV, a lot of times writers are executive producers. A lot of the time,
right? That's right.
It seems like that's the trajectory for television. Is that the same?
Definitely
in reality television.
100%, yes. Although kind of like television, there's also a staff of writers who are or story producers, or they have a lot of different titles, but the EP overseeing them is usually also a writer. So yeah, everybody's a writer at the top usually. Yeah, and it makes sense, right? I mean, when you're creating that much every week, it makes sense. So it's been great. I really enjoy it. I happen to like. I mean, my dad's a contractor. I grew up in that world a little bit, so I actually like real estate. I like houses. My wife and I love to just sit and look at Zillow. So we're those kind of people anyway. So I love this. I like that's the subject.
Now you just made a move recently from LA to drum roll. But how did you end up in Arkansas? Why Arkansas? Was it because did you do any shows about Arkansas? And was it like, oh wow, the house hunting there is amazing?
Actually, yeah, we did. We did some here. We're in the Bentonville, Northwest Arkansas area. And we did some episodes. We did one about a woman who moved from LA, young woman who moved from LA. This was a few years ago, at least, where they were offering people $10,000 to move here. This was an incentive program they don't have anymore, but at the time they had. And she was like in show business and moved to Bentonville. And I was like, what the heck is Bentonville, Arkansas? And I had to research the city a little bit for the show. And I was kind of like, wow, this is interesting. And my wife's family is in Arkansas. So
did she grow up there? Did she grow up in Bentonville? No.
No, my wife grew up in Austin, Texas, but her parents are from the Hot Springs area, Arkansas, outside of Little Rock. And they recently, about 10 years ago, maybe moved back to Arkansas. So we've been visiting them over the years here, and it's so beautiful. People are so nice.
We would not fit in there, Dylan, Tony, or Senior Blanco. Only Matt could get away with going there. Is there like a thing that you have to in Arkansas? You have to, because the people are really nice there. We know the Huckabees and Governor Huckabee has been on here, and of course Sarah is the governor there now, Sarah Huckabee. And it's like they're the sweetest family. They're so sweet. Mm-hmm. Is everybody like that in Arkansas?
Everybody, man. It's so cool. I know I've made so many friends just in the 7 months we've been here. It's like shifts your priorities a little bit. Like I have to make time to like hang out with people like it. And they're so nice. It's a different culture all the way. I mean, like perfect example, we were getting coffee one day and there's a line backing up, but the girl just wanted to talk. And she's like, go around, we're talking. And the people are like, okay, no problem. Like in LA, they would have been honking, like, come on, what are you doing? And she's like, just chatting. I love it. It's great. It's different. Very different, though.
And you've been here. You've been there? What, 6 months now?
I think 8 months now.
Most of the guests that we have on, I won't say most, but probably, what do you say, Dylan? 75% of them
Probably.
have all moved out of LA.
Interesting.
I mean, it's all over the country. It's an interesting thing. We could have our own HGTV show here, not house hunting, but people hunting.
It would be the new version of Where Are They Now?
Yeah, where are they now? Exactly. And why did they move from our?
Where'd they go?
You don't even know how many episodes you've produced of this show.
Man, I don't have time to count.
How do you start this show, and then how does it end? Like, does somebody come and give you an idea, or do you have to get your team of writers and say, this is the idea for the show, and I need so and and then who like, how does it go? What's your work week?
We have an awesome casting department that helps find buyers and that are looking at homes, and so we're just looking for people that have an interesting story or dynamic or relationship or location or something about them that's interesting, right? And then the casting department brings the stories in.
Is this before they bought a house?
It's before.
Okay. They're looking to buy a house, but they have an interesting story.
That's
like,
right.
oh, I have a third arm, or like
exactly.
I have a third ear coming out of my head.
That's right.
Something
I'm
like that.
obsessed with Victorian
Got that,
homes, or I have some weird foot obsession. So then, we begin crafting the story from there. We shoot it, bring it back, and start piecing it together after it's been shot.
So this hold on a second. So this casting department literally goes out and finds sometimes 5 different people that you're going to do a show around every week.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, but oftentimes,
Wow.
I mean, we're fortunate because the show has been on for a long time. So we get fans of the show that want to be on it because they're buying, so they'll reach out to us. Or also, real estate agents, because they might have a number of clients who would be good candidates, so they can they'll reach out to real estate agents in certain cities and kind of go from there.
Is it because they want to be on the show, or is it because, like, what motivates these real estate agents to call in and say, hey, I got these buyers that I think you guys should, follow and buy their show, or, like...
Yeah, I think most of the time it is that they're fans and they just kind of want to be on it. For the agent, it's great because they kind of get their name and face out there. So, they get a little promotion for themselves.
Even like if they're in Iowa, though, or like, let's just say, let's say they're in a little town of Iowa, 2,000 people.
Yeah.
I guess that they would be on TV. Maybe it's a little bit of that, right?
Yeah. I mean, they can put it on social media. They can, they can promote themselves. And, what I've found is that there are certain rural communities where there are fewer buyers, but everywhere now is kind of the same in certain ways with the real estate market, where there are just a lot of people looking for homes and a lot of building going on and, a lot of demand for homes. And so there are obviously smaller markets, but every market is busy.
For a while there, obviously real estate's been hot it seems like for the last 10 years, almost 7 years or whatever. It's, where it's just booming. But it's also in California anyway right now. We're noticing certainly a decline, if not, it's certainly leveled off, and now it's on the decline a little bit. It's starting to, shake it up a little bit. Have you noticed less calls when that happens?
Yes.
Like
it's
there's
harder
less people calling you right now than there were 2 months ago or 3 months ago.
Right now, I would say it's a weird. For last year, I would say buyer's market all the way, maybe the year before too. But there were pockets where it's seller's market. So it just depends on how many people there are out there searching at that particular time and how many houses there are. Because often, each episode we're looking at a couple of houses, three, whatever, 4. We have to find all those houses. We have to cast the houses too. And if there are fewer houses on the market, it could be more challenging to get into those places because they're not for sale.
Isn't it harder though too, because like how do you hang with somebody as long as you do for you know what I'm saying? Like some people take 6 months before they buy a house.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because they're just like looky-loo got people, and they're like, I don't want to buy a house just yet. I'm like, it's like real
Yeah.
estate people. Obviously, they're the bane of their existence because it's like, how many houses can I show, Mr. Thompson today? I've showed
And we have
38
that,
houses.
and we have that story. Yeah, we have that story all the time where it's like, we've been looking for 2 years. It's time to like get this done.
Yeah, because how in the world do you make a half-hour episode out of the person who's seen 37 different houses, and you keep thinking he's gonna? Do you know that they're gonna buy that house?
Well, no, not always. I mean, we try to find people when they're toward the end of their story, the end of their search, so that it's so we're not wasting our time. But we have people fall through all the time. But we usually don't shoot and get the what we need until it's closer to the end of their story. But that is part of it. I mean, definitely is part of it. Things fall out.
Yeah, but that's gonna be
it's
frustrating, though. I would imagine, because don't you is it expensive to send a film crew out there and follow these people around?
I don't really know. I mean, I don't get into that part of it.
The production aspect.
I mean, sure. I would imagine it is, but I have the luxury of just kind of being on the story side, just waiting for the footage to roll in.
And then putting it together. You're not out there like holding the boom pole, hoping Mr. Thompson is going to decide on buying this house, and then he's like, maybe not.
Yeah. No, I'm not in the field.
87-year-old Mr. Thompson.
I'm with them before they go, and then I'm with it after they come back. But I mean, we've definitely had some challenges. It's not as hard as it was. I mean, I came on the show in like 2011, and it was still, toward the end of the real estate crisis, and that was a lot harder. I mean, there were a lot more deals falling through. It's not that way so much anymore.
Where does this transition for you from producing these shows? Did you just all of a sudden, was it your weird mind that was like, oh, imagine if this seller was over here and he got stabbed while looking at this house? Or like, where did this desire to write action movies come out of? Action thrillers.
That's so funny. We always joke about that kind of stuff. I mean, my favorite movie of all time is Indiana Jones. Raiders of the Lost Ark is my favorite movie. And so I've just always
an okay movie. It's not bad.
I mean,
Tony, what do you think of Raiders of the Lost Ark? Dylan? I mean, we
it holds up.
Had a guy in there that was somewhat famous. Go ahead.
It holds up.
Actually, right now, guys, can you please write in your comment? What do you think of Indiana Jones? Do you like it? Do you not like it? And if so, what is your favorite of the Indiana Jones franchise? And now back to Matt.
I've always loved movies. I've always wanted to write movies. And so I had a friend who had a story, and he knew I was a writer on HGTV, and I'd written some like short films and stuff. And he said, hey, do you want to write a movie with me? So he and I started kind of crafting his screenplay. And so it just kind of, the ball started to roll from there. This was, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, a little less than 10 years ago. And then that sort of led to meeting some people who needed some rewrite help, kind of learning. And then I met you. So, I mean, this is a fairly new discipline to me in terms of, compared to the HGTV thing. And I feel like I'm still learning it, but there's a lot of crossover between the, basic storytelling principles, I think, that apply to both, but they are so different. So in a way, I sort of feel like I'm still learning it. You know what I mean? Like it feels new to me, even though I've probably been doing it for about 10 years.
You're working on, obviously, I've been an actor since I was 19. I moved to LA when I was 19. And so it was, and I still work on, I'm working on a script right now that we're shooting here in about a month. And I'm working on my character, my lines, just trying to break it all down. It's that struggle that's inside of us, I think, that goes on to go, how in the world am I struggling with this when I've been doing it for to the audience out there, believe it or not, I am not 28 years old. So it's not been 9 years that I've been doing this. It's been like 30.
Right.
With a lot of, I've done a lot of movies and a lot of things. And yet somehow, even when we approach this, it goes, why is this so difficult to get my brain around it, I know this, it's not, do you as a writer feel the same way?
Totally. Yeah.
I mean, you've been doing
and
it 10 years, but you've been also writing. You've been in the industry for quite a long time, too.
Long time. I mean, yeah. I mean,
20.
since I guess late '90s, early 2000s is when I started on HGTV, like 2003.
Movies. That's the thing that's so bizarre about, I think that's so almost that way with anything in life.
Yeah.
It's like you have to keep showing up every day. You have to keep putting your, just keep walking it out. And in the process of it, it'll come. We were talking on the phone. And what I don't understand is that how in the world you were saying this. I actually thought this was interesting. You were saying, I don't know, because I said, how's the second act going? And you're like, well, I'm not quite sure of how to get there yet. And I was thinking, we already did a treatment beat sheet. Like, you're writing the script and you're not sure about your second act? And he goes, which is very profound, though. You said, I always figure it out. I'll figure it out. It'll come to me. And I was like, as a producer, there's that side of you that says, wait, what do you mean you don't know?
What?
But as a creative, I have the exact same thing on the other side of it going, yeah, I'm not 100% sure how this is going to turn out, but it will turn out.
Right. It's because, and I think for me as a writer, it's because to me, the details, just haven't put the flesh on it yet, but I know it'll have it, but it's, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, that's the part that is the most important to me as like the writer. So, and I would imagine that acting is kind of the same way, where you're kind of in it and, it's all the details of how it's going to work out are sort of what makes it fun, and kind of like, well, that's what I'm going to explore when I get there. I'd have the structure, but it might change a little, and oh, by the way, I hope you're cool with this. It is a cartoon now. Are you cool with a musical? No? Okay, I'll change that. I'll delete that part.
I like when you're creating something and there's good choices, and then sometimes there's really not good choices. This was one of those not good choices. No, but I think that's the thing that you can rest on, is that it will come, and part of the joy in, we've done podcasts with people who have done 50, 70, 80 movies, right? And sometimes my question to them is like, well, why do you still do it? Why in the world, what gets you up in the morning to go do your 81st movie of your life? Like, you've done it in all different ways. Like, why is number 81 going to be different? But I think it's that we're creative beings in the way that, and it's that exploration of the creativity that is part of the interest of where's it going to go. And then when you find it, it's that thing that's like, bam, the light bulb goes on.
Totally.
Which
exactly.
Which also gets back to this whole idea that in LA, there's a big thing that you make it. You became a bona fide star when you did this, right? When you accomplished this. But in the true sense of creativity, I think, is that you're never done with it, right? You're in the motion of it's always the exploration, because if the exploration stops and you just know what's going to happen, where's the fun in that? Where's the exploratory?
Absolutely.
It's part of life in a lot of ways.
Exactly. And you find things that you get excited about, and you're like, "Ooh, yeah!" It keeps you going, keeps you coming, because that is the exciting part. And sometimes it does feel like it doesn't really come from you. It's just sort of like, I don't know if it's God or if it's just your abilities or your I don't know what, but it's like you discover things, and it's like it gets exciting. I have to tell you something. This is funny, and not to put you on the spot, but when I first came to LA, in like the late 90s, and I found out about this faith-based movement of media that was happening. I didn't know anything about this, and no Christian, and I'm like, oh, this is fascinating. So I started to meet people and I was living in Toluca Lake and going to church and trying to like, network around the faith-based media thing. And I went to a screening of might have been one of your early movies, and it was at Bel Air Presbyterian Church in maybe like the late 90s, early 2000s. It was before I was married. It had to be like early 2000s or late 90s. No, I remember you were in it, and I just remember being like, man, I really want to be a part of like what's going on.
Could have been the moment after.
The moment after. That's what it was.
Yeah, because that was 99 we did that first one. That was our first movie. Wow. You were there.
So this is very cool, a full circle for me to be working with you now.
That's cool. That is cool. I feel like when in the process of the creativity, right, God makes us all for different reasons. He gives us, there's a dream and a desire that I believe that he puts in each and every one of us, right? Romans 12 says we all have different gifts according to the measure given to each and every one of us. So you never know what is that thing, where am I going to go in life, or where am I supposed to go, or even in what facet does God want me to go, right?
Yep.
And I
full of a faith-based feature.
But what I come away with from that, though, is that it's in the process of whatever that thing that God put in our hearts or our dreams, right? That we feel it kind of aligns up, that we feel alive when we do it. It's that moment of when you step into it, that you're doing the thing that you believe that you were created to do. In a lot of ways, it seems to be creative in a lot of ways. Like I can throw out like examples of this, of Karen Kingsbury talked about it when she writes. She feels a lot of times she doesn't even understand where that thing is coming from. And when she finishes a book, she feels like God breathed it through her almost. I love that she feels that when she's in alignment with, for example, like when it's going so well, it's almost like you're in alignment with God's creativity breathing through you to do something.
Yeah, definitely. I felt that writing at times. I mean, not to sound corny, but there have been scenes, it's mostly just like a moment or a scene where certain things you weren't even planning, you didn't know they would come together in a certain way, but it's like, whoa, you kind of see this like almost a divine like idea that I wasn't planning for this to come together, but then this one idea just fits so perfectly here. And it's usually a moment that somehow points to God, because we have talked about, putting some element of faith in some of the projects you and I have worked on.
Yeah, these action
and it's usually in those scenes where it's like, I have felt like 100% felt like this. I mean, I don't want to sound corny, but the presence of God when I'm writing something, it's like that feeling like, bing, you're doing something you're supposed to be doing right then.
You think about, I feel like I have it sometimes. I don't know. I don't have it very often on the set or you're in a scene, but I certainly have it sometimes when I watch a finished version of what we did.
Nice.
In a movie, and I'm like, and obviously it's a whole lot easier when you're doing faith-based movies to see God's presence in it, because he says, my word will not come back void, right? And so anytime God's word is in these movies, even in my early movies, when some people would say, well, I could even say they were a little cheesy in different ways for certain reasons. The budgets were minuscule, and the acting wasn't great. But we would be shooting in Arkansas. In fact, my first Christian movies, Second Glance and End of the Harvest, took place in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Ironic,
no way.
To bring it all the way around but I can look at these movies in some ways and go, oh, you can feel the presence of God through even coming through those movies, right? And sometimes sometimes I'm lucky enough to be in a scene that you feel that through. But then you'll have like the racer, the people who are doing whatever, the Formula One racers, or those guys that they say, they talk about being in that zone, or sports guys that when they actually line up and whatever sport it is, they're in that zone. And I think that the interesting thing is people of faith will attribute it to I'm aligning up to the beauty that God created me to be in.
Interesting.
I think somebody could say that better than me.
No, that's cool. That's true. Yeah.
Matt, I appreciate you. Your family is a blessing to ours.
Yeah, man. Same goes. I mean, yeah, it's been awesome to get to know you, and our kids are so cute together. It is a total blessing.
Well, I look forward to you finishing this next script that we're doing.
I got to get to work.
Matt wrote the one, it's called Shotgun Vigilante. I'm so excited about it. It takes place at Christmas time, and it's such a cool run. Matt, any last words you want to give to people out there who have dreams?
Don't give up. Keep trying. Talk to other people. Tell other people what your dream is.
Really?
Yeah.
You would say that? That's interesting.
Yeah. Because workshop it. Workshop your dream.
Interesting. I haven't heard that before. Workshop your dream. Have you heard that? That is pretty good. Why? And then I'll let you go.
It's kind of like a focus group. You get other people's perspectives. Some people will be like, I don't know. If everybody in your life is going, I don't know, man, it might not be a good idea. But if, or it might be good if all those, it just depends. Depends on the audience. You got to take the audience into consideration. But I think you get guidance from those around you.
Nice. All right, Matt.
I do.
No, I love that. I love that, actually. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on, and I hope you have a good day. And you look so professional right now. Like, you look like a guy who produced like 1,000 episodes of TV.
Thanks.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming on.
All right. Thank you for having me. This was so much fun. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. See you, Matt. Well, guys, Matt Eason, right? I think the interesting thing about workshopping your dream, I have never heard that before. I don't know why. Like, it just is, it makes complete sense to workshop your dream. I workshop a lot of things, though, when I have ideas. Like, even this action thing. We're doing action thrillers right now. We just did our first one called A Line of Fire, and Sony picked it up, and it's a godsend, and so grateful for that. But I workshopped that to a lot of my buddies, and I think they probably got tired of listening to it, to be honest. But anyway, what is your dream? And workshop your dream. So thank you to you guys, and please watch and please subscribe on YouTube, and please comment when we, if you did hear the episode, hopefully you did, and you enjoyed it. I guess they probably did if they're still here, right? If they're still listening to this, yeah. Well, we love your comments. And we always love you guys' thoughts as well. So God bless you. Have a great day, and go workshop your dream today.